What's up, everybody? It's Rad. Welcome back to the channel. Back with another video. And as you can see, I have my man Roth with me today. Back by popular demand. I have to say, the last time we did that last video together, y'all showed him a lot of love in the comments. Just him being honest. And so I wanted to come back with another video because it's another Gen Z perspective kind of thing. And the whole video is based around one of my subscribers. I'm going to pop up that comment on the screen. Chad D's 8446. Thank you, buddy, for subscribing and for such an awesome comment. But let me read this to you. It says, "You have one of the best retro channels. Gen X will always have the best memories. Gen Z seems to be more interested in our culture of the 80s and 90s. What are they going to reminisce about? Memes and TikTok?" And then, of course, Rad Pack. I like that, meaning Rad Pack, the name of my membership group. Click in the description, or link is in the description to check it out to join the memberships on the channel. So that made me think. I'm like, of course, well, I have a Gen Z kid. I have a younger Gen Z kid. So I really wanted to get his perspective on it because Chad's absolutely right. A lot of the memories that we have growing up seem to be around certain things. And so then that made me think of the word nostalgia. And I have to be honest with you, the definition of it doesn't really hit me like I thought it would. Like when I say the word nostalgia and I think about nostalgia, I just thought it would mean something different. And so it just simply says a wistful or excessively sentimental yearning for return to or some past period or irrevocable condition. So it's a yearning. We simply say, I remember back when, but then it really got me thinking, what is going to be some of the nostalgia that Gen Z has? Now, to give you an idea, if you follow my channel, you know that, and I'm going to reach over here and grab some of these things. You know that my idea of nostalgia is stuff that I can hold on to, I can collect. Yes, we can hold on to memories, but I like things that I can collect, like this He-Man right here, this He-Man from Masters of the Universe, right? I opened him up in 1981 or 82. I mean, this is my original one that I opened up from the package. And I have them all. I just don't have them out displayed yet. They're in collector's cases. So we had toys as Gen X, right? And then my son, because he loves me so much, this son, the other one loves me too, but this was my Christmas present. He goes out thrifting like I do. It's going to be hard to see, but this is an XMen toy from, what was it, 94? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, 94. And he found it at a thrift store. So it's a little bit beat up, but to hold something in your hand that's from 1994. I mean, this was when my oldest was 1 year old. This came out. And it's pretty amazing to me when you find things that are still in its original package. And I already have it hanging up on my nostalgia wall in the Rad Cave. I just took it off for the purposes of this video. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what Gen Z has that's going to match this growing up, right? And then, of course, we have our games that are an actual cartridge. And this game here is King of the Beach on Nintendo, which I have to say, hold on, I got my autofocus on. This is a badass game, isn't it? We have a lot of time, a lot of fun playing this game. It's simple 8-bit, beach volleyball, but you can spike it, you can block it, you can dive, a volley, a bump, or whatever they call those things. I don't know, and then if you get pissed off at the referee call, well, what can you do, Roth?
You could was it the start button? You click it and you go up there and you kick dirt on him and you get like a yellow card or a red card depending on if your call is right or not. And if it's wrong, you get a point deducted.
After you have red cards. But they do that because sometimes the ref calls the ball out even though it's in. So you go and you challenge it. And if it's blatantly wrong, they overturn it. And, the guy up there on the thing gives his, whatever to the side. But again, physical media that I can hold on to that I love. And then, of course, our music, right? So let me get that where the light doesn't hit it. Billy Idol, Rebel Yell. This is vinyl. This is not a repop like you find in Walmart. This is the original from, I guess I should have probably looked beforehand. And just say it's the early 80s because I can't see it. So we have hard physical nostalgia to hold on to. And as Chad says in the, I tell you what, guys, my Sony has been giving me problems, and that's even with the autofocus button on. Chad brings up a great point with nostalgia. Now, I did read a recent article that I'm going to do a separate video on, that Gen Z is saving malls. I don't know if it's saving malls, but they're bringing back malls or helping malls or saving malls in the sense because they're getting a sense of nostalgia. And as Chad mentioned, a lot of his age people are really, and not even so much the older Gen Zs like my daughter, the younger ones are really gravitating towards our stuff, the stuff that we had from the 80s, the music, the clothes, the style, the hair, the double earrings, all that stuff. It kind of never went away, but they are really embracing that. That's the word. I keep saying adopting, but they're really embracing that. So with that said, I kind of wanted him on that. What are your thoughts? We kind of talked about it. We didn't want this to be scripted, but we did bring out some points. So what are some toys? I mean, because you're 15, about to be 16.
Yeah.
Were there any toys? I don't remember buying you any toys that were like toy specific to your generation that, say, when you're 30 years old, you go to a flea market and you see that and you're like, oh my God, that reminds me of being 7 years old.
There's not really a lot, but the ones that I did have were Imaginext, Power Rangers, and I think it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I used to make the sets for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with my stepmom, and we used to buy the toys, the garbage truck, and that's really what I would look for if I am older. It kind of just brings me back a little.
But Ninja Turtles came out in the 80s.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm talking about the new rendition of toys. The Nickelodeon version kind of really stuck with me.
Okay. And then, of course, you see that his mic is clipped to, what do you call that? A fingerboard, right?
Fingerboard, yeah.
So now are fingerboards new?
No. Tech Deck made them, I think, in like the 90s, but actual 7-ply fingerboard with bearings in the wheels have kind of been like a new thing with new technology. And young kids really like these, and it challenges you to use your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have to say I have bought him some of those over the years. He even has a little kit to make them, although I think he broke it already or something like that. But
in the mold, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean the intricacies on that are very, very small. But again, they've been around a while, but the technology, of course, has grown. Now I know for my millennial age son, he's a younger millennial, born in the early 90s, and we still had rotary telephones or a home phone. I think by that time it might have been the digital, phone through Spectrum or whatever. He had, when the Xbox, that was their thing when the Xbox first came out, Gears of War, right? What's that game that he absolutely loves that they made an Amazon show? Fallout, man, yeah. I couldn't even think of it. So he absolutely loves Fallout. So there are some things from his age, along with a lot of the stuff that came from the 90s that he has to even collect. Like he's a big collector of Spawn. And then my daughter, being an older Gen Z, she's into, even though Hello Kitty's been around a long time, she's into Hello Kitty, but also these other, like the original Monster High dolls. Like that was her thing. Like those were toys when she was 8 or 9 years old. They've brought them back. They, of course, changed them up a little bit. So they're not as cool as they were. And she's recently went back to start collecting some of those along with these other style Japanese dolls that they had. But so fingerboards, what else? Anything else?
I can't really think of anything. I mean, like game consoles, Leapfrog. I don't even know when Leapfrog was made, but I remember that was like my first game console, and I loved it. I had SpongeBob. I had some other games. Okay. So yeah.
SpongeBob, I think, was ultimately around when Theo was younger, but it spanned a long time.
They're still making new episodes.
Yeah, we do love SpongeBob. So that's the thing. So I think we would have to say that there's not a lot, is there? There's not a lot of physical things. Say 20 years from now, you walk into a thrift store and you see on the shelf that says, "Hey, I had that when I was 8 or 9 years old."
Yeah, no. I mean, I can't really think of anything else. Memories, a lot of memories, but physical toys I kind of just adopted from you and my sister and Theo. Like, it kind of all got brought down to me, and I kind of, where I am now has kind of mixed from my older siblings and parents.
So to kind of go back to what we talked about before about the mall, they don't necessarily go to malls, but the point of this article that I will do a video on was that now these Gen Z, his age and slightly older, probably like my daughter's age, they're getting burned out on social media. Although they're still on their phones, they're more on Discord chats, which, I think it's social media. To me, Discord reminds me a lot like WhatsApp or Telegram. You can text, you can voice chat, can you video chat on Discord? Okay, so to me, I don't look at it like a Facebook or an Instagram, although they are really, really big on Instagram. It seems to be the platform his age are really loving. But the article says that they're yearning for personal interaction because they're just so burned out. And I'd kind of already known the story with him. So tell us a little bit. I mean, if y'all don't know, he's got his own channel. He puts a lot of those videos up of what he does with his friends. But would you agree with that statement that y'all are necessarily burned out on social media, or you enjoy actual face-to-face social interaction?
I think the second one, we enjoy more face-to-face. I mean, most of my friends have burnout on social media. I'm not going to say any names, but we kind of all feel like zombies. So also, it's just memories, and we do document it because most of my friends have YouTube channels. But it's also the fact that we could just look back on those and be like, hey, remember he threw a freaking trash can into a toilet? It's just kind of those things that are like, they stick with us and it brings memories.
Now, you skate, so you have a lot of friends. Is that Jules walking around outside?
I don't know.
We see a shadow coming down, right? Who the hell is that? I can just walk right out this door and find out who it is. But so you might not go to malls, although you would, right? Like if you did, like a group of your friends?
Not a group of my friends. I actually had a chance to, and I was like, what are we going to do? He's like, I have no money. I only have money for pretzels, but we could just walk around and, mess with the security guards. And I was like, oh man, I'm out of town right now. So
mess with the security guards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do y'all do then? Let's just say we mentioned this earlier. So you don't go to malls, y'all want to, but what else have y'all done to kind of that encompasses the same getting together with your group of friends and just hanging out?
Well, we also have bands, so I go to a lot of the underground shows.
She's feeding the cats out there.
I go to a lot of underground shows, and although it's hectic, it's really a community. Also, First Friday, it has a bunch of vendors, and I think we've made videos on it.
For Corpus,
for Corpus, but...
You have one in San Antonio as well, the main one in San Antonio. Yeah.
San Antonio is more art-based, but I have a video there, and it's just like most people loved it, and got a lot of great feedback because it's just real. It's just all of my friends and I just, just being there in the moment. And we also go to Six Flags a lot. Theme parks are a thing.
Yeah, I don't think they had family memberships back when I was young enough, but maybe they did, and my mom just was too poor to buy one. But y'all all seem to have family memberships or whatever to where they just go and get dropped off and hang out and have a good time. So yeah, he does that. He has the First Friday videos where they go and do that. They thrift together. I know he's had some videos together where they all love the thrift. And so at least his group, I don't know, maybe y'all should drop a comment below if you've got younger Gen Z kids. I don't mean 9-year-olds. I mean like 15-year-old, 14-year-old, 16-year-old kids, kind of what they do. Because again, we're in Texas, right? We're in San Antonio. Maybe it's based on geography. We do things a little bit different. And I'm sure once he gets his license, he's going through driver's ed right now. He'll have his license, his full permit soon, and then his driver's license. There's going to be certain rules that come along with that, but he'll be able to go and do a lot more things. But and what about clothing? What about fashion? So what are your group of kids? If you've seen his channel, you kind of see, he's got semi-painted fingernails because he is in a, Midwest Screamo? Is that what it's called?
Kind of,
emo.
sorta, yeah, emo,
Midwest.
screamo.
Okay. So, and then I noticed a lot of the clothes that they wear, his group of friends. I picked him up at high school a couple times, and it is insane what some of these girls wear. I mean, they didn't even dress like this as cheerleaders or dance squad or whatever. I mean, I think it's completely ridiculous that, a lot of women nowadays talk about over-sexualization, and yet, you show up to school looking like you just left the strip club. It's pretty messed up. So we absolutely couldn't get away with that when we were in school. But a lot of him and his friends wear these baggy clothes. What's the brand? The Jinkos or something like that?
Yeah, Jinkos. A-Labs are kind of like the new Jinkos because they're like $80 instead of $180. Most of it is just your own style, and now, like, we think more than ever, your style is what kind of makes you you. It's kind of like in a video game, you get to customize your avatar with piercings and clothing. So just whatever you want to wear it. And that we all kind of are friends. And fashion has actually brought us together. Like, we're like, hey, I like those pants, and then we become friends.
Now, a lot of what he wears, though, as they say, there's nothing new under the sun. So I remember, obviously I don't remember bell bottoms. I remember they wore them in the 70s, but there were really big flared bell bottoms from the 60s all the way up. And then I would say the goth people really started wearing these, the punk and the goth people, but not the ones of the 80s. The ones that were punk and all that was more leather and tight pants and stuff like that. It wasn't until, for me anyway, in America, in Texas, the early 90s when the rave culture took off. It became a lot of baggies. Even silver tab jeans came out from Levi. Those were the skater, the streetwear brand, but they weren't big baggy ones like the Jenkos. And so they deliberately, he is in fashion class, right? And he knows we made him go through well, he actually wanted to, but they brought back home ec. They just called it, what do they call the home ec?
PBS.
PDS?
PBS. Sorry, my voice cracked.
PBS, what's it stand for?
Personal business suitification. I have no idea.
Suitification. So let's just call it home ec. They brought it back. He learned how to cook. He learned how to boil water. You'd be surprised. A lot of people don't know how. I watch these TikTok. Like, I watch Fell Army, right?
Yeah.
And he turned me onto it. These people are dumb, man. You have these people that are filming themselves on TikTok. Like, they have a following. It's normally some chick. She's cute, so that's why she probably has a following. And she's like, hey, today we're going to make mac and cheese. And she catches her damn kitchen on fire because she doesn't know how to cook. And then she doesn't even know to put the damn lid on the pot to put out the fire. Anyway, so, man, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so he went to home ec.
Yeah.
But what he really still does is the sewing. He can work the sewing machine, so he's able to go to the thrift store, buy big ass pants that are for like a guy like me, maybe not lengthwise, but widthwise. And then he makes some slits in the waistline and then sews them together to where they stay on. Cause he's not a sagger. He doesn't sag. And to those Gen Xers that don't know, the people that wear like underwear, then a pair of basketball shorts, then a pair of pants on them. And then they pull the pants down along their ankle, yeah, there's some funny shit online where, people do stuff and they try to chase them and then they wind up falling because their pants fall around them. I get it, to each their own, but that is just the dumbest freaking style that I've ever seen in my life. That makes absolutely no sense. But again, different cultures, raised differently, not my thing. So even though the pants are extremely baggy, he's not sagging. Although he does wear like basketball shorts under the pants. So he's technically still got his underoos on. And then was it Superman or Batman this time? You don't even know what underoos are you?
No, I don't. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell him. And then he put the basketball shorts on, and then he puts his pants over it. So, and then he even wears a wife beater. I've never understood the concept of those. I wear t-shirts because I want it to soak up the sweat so it doesn't get to my outer shirt. Obviously, wife beaters don't do that.
Wife protectors.
Yeah, they're wife protectors now. It's 2025.
Damn.
Or no, people protectors, because can we use wives anymore? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I
I don't know.
don't know.
Can you say wife? Am I going to get canceled? Anyway, so the clothing has kind of been repurposed and reformed. But again, the Gen Z seem to be, at least his age, seem to be really adopting a lot of our culture. We've talked about it on video before. This kid knows music. He knows he knows Billy Idol. Who's your favorite singer from the 80s?
Probably Billy Idol.
No.
I would say Billy Idol. Dude, well,
You named your dog after him.
Oh, yeah. Prince. Well, I have a lot. Prince, Duran Duran. Well, weren't they kind of like 70s? It doesn't matter.
No,
I have a lot of people.
Well, I mean, Billy Idol was around in the 70s in Generation X, which is the name of the band, but and he's really not Generation X. He was born before 1965. But anyway,
Prince.
Prince.
Real quick, let me get this out of the way. Prince is better than Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson sucks, and Prince is just better. You could do so many different moods with Prince, and I think he takes more emotion into his song play.
Well, okay, Michael Jackson doesn't suck. He's just not Prince.
I would say, in my personal opinion, he sucks.
But, so he knows the music, and so he knows the 80s music. He knows the techno music from the video I did. He knows a lot of the DJs, right? Yeah. Tiga and Bugatti. I mean, him and his friends all know that song. They love that song. So they're into a lot of the genres of music. Prodigy. I'm still, what?
Prodigy.
Yeah, he loves the Prodigy.
Easton loves the Prodigy too.
Yeah, what's up, Easton? So yeah, I just kind of wanted to see. I still don't think there's going to be much 30 years from now, unless it's Roth walking into, a thrift store, seeing something. And we're not saying that's a bad thing. That's just, it's not their fault. It's not Gen Z's fault. They don't control it. I guess even like with TV shows, like we grew up with so many like amazing sitcoms. I've been telling this kid about All in the Family with Archie Bunker, and then the spinoff with the Jeffersons and Good Times. I mean, I've shown him some clips, and he's just blown away that this was on network television in the 70s.
Yeah.
And talking to some other folks about it, Black people in particular, that are like that those shows did so much for race relations back in the 80s, in the 70s, that, because we weren't sensitive, we learned that we can make fun of one another and laugh at each other, and poke fun at the differences, but still be a great thing. Think about this. All in the Family was great. I didn't really care for Archie Bunker. I always loved George Jefferson. So, of course, when the show came out, The Jeffersons, I watched, I think, every season over the years, or every episode through all the seasons every year. So, Good Times, not so much, but definitely The Jeffersons. So even with that, the movies, the TV, I know there's a lot of decent movies out there, but will y'all even collect them as a DVD if they're even made back, in the future?
I collect them right now, so I think that'll carry on. Scott Pilgrim, Nacho Libre, Napoleon Dynamite, just a lot of classic movies. In my opinion, like from my upbringing, I don't mean classic, like way back in his old time.
Do you think they can even make Nacho Libre over again in this time?
Probably not, because it'll get canceled. Half of the movies I like will probably get canceled, but it was just a different place back then.
But even then, it wasn't bad. There's nothing wrong with those movies. It's just society has shifted so many different ways that it's weird. Scott Pilgrim, is a great movie. I like that. A little weird, but it was, what else were you going to say?
I don't think Nacho Libre will actually get canceled because it depicts off a real story. Like, it's a real life story. But they made it into a comedy. But it's like an actual guy that cared for the kids and to raise money for the church. That's based on a true story? Yeah.
Are you serious?
But so serious. Pop it up right here on the screen. Right here.
What did you just say? What?
Pop it up on the screen right here.
Oh, okay.
Like, fact check me.
So it's not based on a true story.
Loosely.
So did he literally say, "Get that corn out of my face" in real life? No. Okay. What about the stretchy pants?
Probably.
Is that true?
Yeah. Well, because he spent the money that he did from the luchador or whatever, how you say it.
What about the flavors and the spices?
Okay.
So anyway, drop some comments below. I'd really love your feedback on it. What do your kids do? What are they into? What physical stuff can they collect? What do you think? I think it's a great thing that they're falling in love with the 80s culture and the 90s culture, collecting our stuff because, look, I have a collection. And this kid here, I've got the other two that want certain things, but I know this kid here I know I can go to my grave and know that this guy, this kid right here, this man by that time will preserve that into the future, museum quality pieces, right? So anyway, drop a comment below. Let us know your thoughts. As always, we appreciate you sticking around. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified of future videos. Check out the link to join the memberships in the description below. And with that said, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next video.